Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. So just continuing with the new layout and format and everything. Let me know how you guys feel about it in the comments. Obviously I've now developed the skill to do thumbnails as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to organize my box, or essentially teach you how to organize your box. So as you can see, if I scroll through the top tags, you will see no units have been organized, which gives me great anxiety because I have incredible OCD. But I will fight through that anxiety to show you guys how to organize your box as best as possible. So just beginning with those tags, of course, as you know, if you go to a tag, you can put units into that category. That helps you to just kind of quickly filter through things. So the easiest way is just to tap the tag name, and you can literally change it to whatever you want. You can change it to stickers if you want to see what units you have stickered. You can change it to 100% to see what units are completed, need to work on. I call that focus. Units farming essay for units that need orbs for units to awaken, units to. You can put whatever you want on it, and you can just kind of go from there. It's important also to favorite your cards. I see a lot of people that don't favorite their cards. So basically favoriting a card just means that you essentially can't use that to accidentally increase SA of another card, or use it for training, or use it for hidden potential or hit pro or anything like that. So favoriting the card just allows you to know that basically that card is your only copy of that card, or it's the copy of the card that you're choosing to work on. If I'm doing free-to-play units and I choose one copy that's going to be the copy I obviously put all the others into, I will favorite that copy because I want to make sure that I can't accidentally take that level 80 copy of a card and with 10 SA and stick it in another card. Most of the time it's just an annoyance, but especially with summonable cards, it can be more than an annoyance. It can really just cost you a card. I mean, there's been plenty of times when I first started, I accidentally threw away a Strength Gogeta that way. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind while you are doing your units. So the next thing that we're going to do is sorting the box. So you'll see I'm busy sorting through the units there. I've sorted them by rarity, and then top, and then favorite. So how I like to organize my boxes, I like to have it by top and by rarity. So you'll see here, this is how I like my box. I like to see the top and then all the rarities and their different classes all the way down, and then I'll get to strength, and then I'll get to agility, I'll get to tech, I'll get to int. So how you do that is basically you click rarity first. That's going to organize your entire box by rarity. So it's going to stick all the LRs at the top. And then what you're going to do is you're going to then click type. And then that's going to put all of them by top. So you'll see I put everything randomly. Okay. Put everything by top. Alright. Cool. Now it's showing me the units in the order I acquired them. But I don't want that. I want my LRs there. So what I do is I go back to favorite. Okay, cool. Rarity. It's going to put all of them. Then top. Bam. That's how I like my box. It's just so that I can have it sorted by types. But for you guys at home, it's going to be entirely up to how you want it to be. So just, don't panic, and just feel free to organize your box in whatever order you want. But I generally suggest type, or at least by rarity. That way you can at least keep track of what's done and what's not done. Whereas when it's all jumbled up, you can have units that are completely done. Right at the bottom, you can have units in between units that are done and not done. You can have copies of units that aren't done. So yeah, just keep that in mind while you're organizing your box. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to organize our units. So we've made a 100% tab here, but I want to be able to find all my 100% units without putting in a lot of work and manually going through and finding every single one, making sure I don't miss one. And so what do? I click the activation sort. That will give me all of my 100% units right at the top. Then it's as simple as just clicking all of them. Easy peasy. So that's the easiest way to get all your 100% units into one category. You might say, okay, well, why would I want all my 100% units in one category? Well, for me, that just shows me that I don't have to work on the unit anymore. And then generally what happens is if I get a unit from a summon that is a copy of that 100% unit, I know, okay, I don't need to use that unit anymore. I can keep it as SA fodder. I can keep it as a dupe for maybe I'm working on a second copy for some reason, for Ultimate Clash or for World Tournament or for Chain Battle or whatever the story is. It's just nice to know what you have done, completed, especially for free to play units as well. It's really nice to be able to organize that and go through that and make sure that you are in vogue. So then you're going to say, okay, well, now I want to fill up my focus tab, but I don't want to click 338 times. No problem. Easiest way is, again, go to activation, click select all, so that you select every single unit under the activation. And then what you're going to do is you're going to untick all of the 100% ones. That's going to be the easiest way for you to get all of the units that you need to focus on, because every unit that's not 100% needs to be focused on, right? Because you need dupes in them, or you can still put gear in them, or you can still do hip pro in them. So it's definitely something that you need to keep in mind. So you want to know what units still need work. That's why I call it focus, because I want to focus on these units. So see, I can select all, go to activation, and just untick all of the 100%, which again is easy because they have the rainbow star next to their name. So that's the easier way of basically doing the reverse of what you did in the first one. That way it saves you from clicking 338 times if you're like me, and rather only clicking 110 times, which is, you know, only 1/3 of the effort, which is alright. But it's also nice to show off the tricks of sorting your box and how you can kind of work reverse backwards from things and just kind of keep everything in mind. So once we're done this tab, the next tab we'll move on to is the alert tab, I believe. So the reason I have my units organized like this is just simply it makes it easier to keep track of what I'm doing. It makes it easier to keep track of what units I've finished, what units I haven't finished. It makes me know which units I still need dupes in, which units haven't been allocated. And also lets me organize summons, so when I summon that I'm not missing things, because those will all filter through to the cards with no tag category, which means that they're all immediately there and I can then allocate them from that screen. So that's the focus screen, pretty much done. Like I say, it's pretty straightforward. Then we want to untick all of the material units, because those will go through to the material tab. Material units for me are units that I either already have finished and it's just a copy of that unit that I might use as SA fodder for another unit down the line. It could be the free-to-play unit that I'm farming for SA fodder. It could be a free-to-play unit that I'm just farming and need copies of them to feed into SA. It's really not any specific reason for that unit. It's basically just any unit that's not in the focus tab. So if you have units that you've moved into focus that you know you don't need, or you just want to keep them separate, it's just so I don't end up like having 3 copies of blue Goku that I'm working on at the same time. So I generally put those units into the material tab. As they arrive into the non-tag box, I will move them there. So if it's copies of the, you know, the LR friends, the friend LRs, or if it's, you know, like that free-to-play Goku there that I'm farming, I move them into the material tab, and then I know, okay, this is why I have 10 copies of blue Goku, because he is the material that I am using. So yeah, it's very much something that you just want to keep in mind. As you can see, I'm moving out the units. Another way to allocate units as well is to simply click on them, move across, click edit, and you can allocate them from there. So that's just a way to allocate units. Once you have your box kind of sorted out and you don't need to mass allocate things or anything like that, you can just proceed from there and just basically hold on whatever new unit you have and say, okay, this unit needs to go to focus, this unit's a dupe, this unit's a copy, this unit's a new lead, this unit's a new whatever. So the next tab we'll do is LR. The reason I sort out all my LRs is because LRs obviously are cool as hell and everyone wants to show off their LRs. Basically that's why I do it. There's no real reason, it's just literally me keeping track of the amount of LRs I have. If you want a functional category to put in here instead, you could put here units that need to have their SA finished, and put all your units that don't have maxed SA, so that you can farm for them and keep track of those and remove them as they are finished. But what you can do if you are doing the LRs, and let's say you have LRs that are not awakened yet, you won't be able to find them by seeing their sparkly glow. So what you can do is you can go to the Dokkan Awaken tab, you can change it from acquired to rarity, and then you can just scroll down basically and you'll see any units that you have will have the little yellow bar kind of moving up, and you can just go there and keep notes of them and then just move them later on. Like I see that I don't have the Yamcha allocated, I don't have the Mighty Mask, I don't have the Piccolo. And then obviously you'll see a whole bunch of TRs afterwards, but don't worry about those. So you can go to the Dokkan Awaken screen, which shows you every unit that can Dokkan Awaken, or LRs can Dokkan Awaken. And then we'll go back, and then I go to my focus group, and I know, okay, I need to find Yamcha, so I search Mighty Mask, because I need to find Yamcha. I search Mighty Mask, move him to LR, and done. And then I know I need to move Yamcha, so I go Yamcha, cool, click, move, edit, LR, done. So now I've made sure that all my LRs are in the LR category, so that I'm not missing any, and that I don't that I'm not missing any, and that I don't lose track of the ones I still need to awaken with World Tournament medals, because God forbid, you know, we don't have to do that anymore. I'm missing quite a few. Then the next one is just leads. So in terms of leaders, I try to find a way to look for them with leader skills, but there's no real way to just find the holistic leader skills. The only way you can search leader skills is ones that like raise attack on orbs or things like that, which doesn't help. But in my lead category, I just basically put all my category leads, all my typing leads. And the reason I do this is essentially just to keep track of what I have leads for. Because when I'm doing stuff like Ultimate Challenge and, you know, content like that, it can be sometimes difficult to keep track of who I've got leads for, who I don't have leads for, who I can use, what teams I can use, what typings I can use, who's a type lead, who's not a type lead. And you know, when you're running content like Ultimate Challenge, you kind of need to make sure that you take a certain amount of leads so that you can kind of get the job done, because you need leads. So I basically put anything that's 120% or higher typing lead or category lead into the leads section. I don't put 100% leads just because, you know, it's not a high enough lead for me at least. So I put generally 120% and higher. If you are happy with going for 100%, you can do the 100% leads as well. That is more than fun. So yeah, I definitely sort out my leads. That just helps me with knowing, like I say, which units I can use to build teams for Ultimate Clash, Chain Battle, World Tournament, anything really, literally any content in the game. I can just quickly go to my leads section and then search for a thing like Shadow Dragons or Fusions or something, and generally I'll find the lead if it's there, and then if not, I know I don't have it and I have to think of some alternative. So yeah, then the final tab is the Max Links tab. So this is my last tab and the latest one I added to the game. So this just lets me keep track of all the units that I have max linked. There's no real way to find them via the filter. So when you finish a unit, you're going to have to put it there and not forget them, which I luckily wrote them down because I have so few before sorting out this box. So yeah, I put max links units here so that I know that if I'm farming links or putting units on teams to farm links or anything like that, I don't use these units specifically, just because I want to make sure that I maximize my link farming. So if Tech Freeze is done, there's no point putting them on the Wicked Bloodlines team, take someone else. But yeah, cool. I hope this helps you guys, some tips and tricks for organizing your box. And I hope you have some better luck in future and everything's a bit cleaner and neater looking. Cool. Check you guys in the next one. Cheers and bye.